Welcome everyone, Simon here from the Wells of Wall Street. We have an Iota video here for you guys. Before we go into the chart update, a couple of announcements from Iota recently. So this in particular is around the official launch of Iota Staking. Now this is done through the Shimmer Network, which we'll go on to in a second. But this is fantastic. So those that do or do not have it, there is a Firefly app that you can download off the Iota or Miota website. This is essentially a secure wallet for your Miota tokens. This is essentially a requirement when we do the staking. So we'll do a staking video of this maybe tomorrow or Tuesday latest, but I'll give you a bit of a lowdown as to exactly what's going on right now. So this is about the announcement of it occurring. So from what I gather is for every Miota or Iota token that you have, you will receive one SMR. However, what's really interesting right now is that you will receive one SMR every 10 seconds, I believe. So there's an absolute phenomenal amount to be taken here. Now, of course, yeah, there's probably a big supply of that. I need to check the aspect of that shortly, but I think it's a great opportunity. The Shimmer Network is absolutely fantastic. We'll go into that in a second, but very much what this is trying to do is integrate with Miota so that there are zero transaction fees for anything that we do via blockchain. And of course, Iota boasts the tangle mechanism that it has, which we spoke about in a few videos back. Very much the sort of next level, if you like, of blockchain technology. We talk about DAG quite a lot in general, but I think also the tangle mechanism of Iota is what's going to be a massively effective part of adoption in the world going forward for blockchain, and the way things will be automated, transactions will be distributed across multiple ledgers and things like this. So we did a video a while back actually of a very interesting case study of Iota, of how they it's a simple theme of plastic cups, how that can actually be regenerated and actually reduce things like tax and everything through the tangle system, through the mechanism of tracking and utilizing blockchain. So it's really interesting. But of course, the Shimmer aspect here is what's of interest. So here's just a defining area here that I just mentioned. So one Miota equals one Shimmer every 10 seconds for 90 days. So I haven't got a massive bag of Miota. I do have what I consider enough, considering its price and everything like that. Of course, I don't have an unlimited amounts of money, but I know this project very well, and it's certainly one that I think is going to have absolutely giant future. So you know, even if you had like £100 or £1,000, whatever it is in Miota, I could probably do a couple of calculations in a second anyway when we go into the Shimmer site, just to give you a reflection on what is possible here. And also there's a bit of instruction there how to do it, but we will do a sort of flow through from the beginning of how to stake this in a separate video. So guys, yeah, I just thought I'd bring that to your attention. But yeah, very much around, you know, look at this, becoming the first multi-asset ledger without transaction fees. This, when you want a blockchain to work and everything to be autonomous and working together and linking together, bridging together, this aspect of freedom in terms of transactional fees is extremely important. Could you imagine, like, you know, you've ordered something, or you're going on holiday. We talked about this before. So let's say you've got like a business meeting, the hotel's booked for you, the transportation's booked for you, everything's booked for you within this one ecosystem. But of course that obtains transactions. Transactions comes the words of, you know, essentially action. Yeah. So every action is a transaction. And of course, usually costs money. So this whole aspect of an action, i.e. the drone comes and delivers something to you in preparation for your holiday or your business meeting tomorrow, that is an action which requires a transaction within blockchain. Same for NFTs. Some people, or you know, a lot of people just think NFTs are about collectibles. They're not. NFTs is also a fungible token aspect that can be used in both a virtual world and a real world scenario. But also NFTs can essentially be applied to anything and everything that you own. You can create anything materialistic or, you know, that has value as an NFT that is therefore then transactionable on the system. So when we're talking about NFTs, for example, if you have a delivery from a drone, obviously the item that you purchase is essentially arguably an NFT, which, because on blockchain, if you ever needed to return it or anything, it needs to be obviously coded and transacted for it to be able to be bought back, kind of thing. So that's just a very, very basic example, but I thought I'd bring this to your attention. This was announced a few days ago. It's given me a couple of days to get involved and figure out how to do all this. this. So now I know, and we can definitely go through that in the next day or two. So here's the Shimmer Network. So this is about the token launch. Again, very simple, nice website. A couple of things we've already spoken about. Continuous rewards, of course, this locks you in for the 90 days. However, there are no lockups or penalties. So if you do need to take it out, there is no penalty, which is great. And there's no lockup period either. I'm assuming that you either you just take the rewards that you've currently obtained and off you go. I very much doubt they'll just remove them all. I'm not sure, but we'll have to see how that works. But so staking calculator, let's just say, for example, what's the price of we'll go into the chart in a second. Obviously it's around about 130. So let's just say you got £100 worth right now, 130 over 90 days. That's going to give you around about, oh, let me press the calculator button because I think that is slightly out. Here we go. So roughly £100 worth, or $100 worth, sorry, $100 worth, just 101 million. That sounds a bit mental, doesn't it? In fact, what we'll do while that's sort of loading up, we'll just get the coin market cap up for this as well. I just wanted to check how much supply is in there, because obviously that sounds, you imagine wandering around with 101 million SMR tokens, of course. That could be a bit crazy, but let's just have a look at this as it all loads up. So while that's doing that, we'll just scale back down. So how to stake, like I said, we'll do a video, but in general, download the Firefly wallet. Of course, you have your Miota tokens built on there, and we'll go through that as well. And then simply just obtaining sort of the address information and everything like that, you can essentially link that up and do so. Here's the Shimmer token as well, I believe, as trading pairs if you wanted to purchase them across different exchanges. So yeah, I can't find the supply at the moment. This is because, of course, it hasn't launched yet. So we'll try and find out more detail on that before we do the staking video in a couple of days' time. So yeah, that kind of wraps up what's going on with Iota the last sort of couple of days or so. Let's go into the chart of Iota and see what's going on there. Smash the like button if you like what you're hearing and seeing, and make sure you hit that subscribe button as well if you have not done so already. Flying through subscribers, might get to 4,000 by the end of this month, which would be absolutely phenomenal. Thank you for your support. Let's take a look. Okay, so we've found some stability over the last few days with Iota floating around this 130 mark. Now this is putting us in line with our macro fib retracement line here, which, to be fair, it's been quite jumpy, to be honest, with Iota quite recently. Some really good moves, obviously a bit of profit taking along the way as well. Just going to see how much this move was here, for example. So we had a good 30% uprise there, a bit of a slow correction. Of course, these big long tail downs were usually particularly around the sort of Bitcoin leveraging failures, which of course then made its way across the board to multiple other assets that we have in different classes. So we've had these pull downs, but they've come back very strong. I actually, if I remember a few videos back, I mentioned I don't have any Iota tokens, amazingly, because I believe in this project so much. But I tell you now, I bought some in this dip here a few days ago. So I'm now an Iota holder, and it's something that I'm looking forward to putting into the Firefly wallet to show you guys how to stake for this Shimmer token. But yeah, in general, I basically took a load of profit out of IOTX over about a week or so ago, redistributed some of that into IOTX as it dropped back down, and then I used the rest of it into Iota. I think both of them are phenomenal projects in their own right, and I'm sure at one point they will be interlaced. I'm sure of it, as Iota is built that way. The tangle mechanism and the way that it's operating with other systems is designed, of course, to help with the bridging and make things, easier and more acceptable for blockchain automation and everything that we want to do to move the world forward to the next industrial revolution. So big projects, both of them. But yeah, that's how I got my Iota tokens. I'm very pleased to have them finally. And I think what I will do is continue probably to accumulate in small dips, in small sections. I think this is going to have a fantastic ride forwards, both short term and especially long term. If you think in maybe 5-10 years time what the capabilities of this kind of technology will be, is absolutely phenomenal. Indicator wise on the right hand side, we're just floating in the positive, literally floating above the positive line here at 0.08%. Don't think I've ever seen one so level. Down on the month still, understandably, because we did have some good rises, certainly further back slightly, which we're of course seeing. Look at this. I mean, the big move, that it would have been lovely to have got some down here and taken profits and then reaccumulated, but here we go. Hindsight's a great thing, right? So beginning of September, back down here at 95 cents, absolutely flew it up. I think we got a high of just around $2, which is crazy, really. But that's where we are with it. And we're now flowing around the 130. We're 300% up on the year. What do we look like doing in the short term? Well, let's just take a look. So the RSI obviously dipped down when I bought it a few days back to 43. I think it's a very respectable position to be buying it in. I think we're going to get some stability around this 50 RSI mark over the next maybe week or so. But I do believe around sort of into December, especially when the staking mechanism kicks in, I'm sure people will want to get involved in that more and more as awareness builds. I think Iota has a really interesting following. It's not like one of those pump and dump sessions. It's got a real sort of basis of people who are investing in this project because they know what the future holds for it. And similarly to blockchain in general, it's one of those where you kind of hold for dear life. I mean, I'm sure there are people that trade it, of course, but I'm going to be holding strong with this personally and keep adding to it now that I've got it. But I think big things coming. It's one of those projects that goes under the radar compared to other ones, maybe price point wise. I'm not sure why that is, but if you do your own research, you will see how big and how important Iota is for the mechanism of the world moving forward. So we're in this selling mechanism right now. It's not massive. The volumes are reducing to what they were before. Look at that big sell off there. Incredible. But like I said, if you were buying down here and took that, well, fair play to you. The MACD is still in the bearish momentum. I would like to see that narrowing a bit. And like I said, I do think we might still sort of start to get that support mechanism as we are around 130. Now, we may come back and test these levels around the 124 mark again. What you've got to bear in mind, guys, I mean, with exception, really, we've had some really interesting moves of Iota over this year so far. And I just wanted to sort of pinpoint some areas of interest because right now, we're very much, we kind of shot here. So in February, shot way through, all the way up here, came back down, complete rejections at these areas. But you can see like a nice little trend pattern of consistency here in the long run. Okay, when you pull it out, you see it a bit more. So we had all these testing stages. And right now, of course, being around here, we're sort of in line with these areas where we tried to jump up before, couldn't do, there's resistance. And here's a bit of staggering, not massive, but a testing of this area. So I think this is a really solid foundational level. Will we come lower? I'm not entirely convinced that we will go massively further down. I think Iota is very strong in its position and its awareness and everything like that, and people believing in it. So I think we're in a very strong stage of Iota. So if it does come down, it will probably maybe come down to potentially test around these areas of 120, possibly down to, arguably, potentially down to that $1 mark again. But I think that's quite far-fetched at this stage. We'll have to monitor over the next few days. In fact, when we do the staking one, we'll just confirm that mechanism. But my opinion is we'll get stability around this sort of 120 to 130 mark, and we could start pushing this back up, because then if we start targeting these 134, 138 marks, that's when we can get the momentum to push up to the 150 and beyond, in my opinion. I said in the previous video, we'll probably get some resistance around this 187 mark. Just tailing it into, again, some historic information that I'm looking at, and of course back up to this $2 mark. There's no doubt in my mind that we will probably see some resistance around there again as well. So hopefully we're only a few weeks away from that, maybe. We'll have to see. But guys, that's very much Iota's update video today. Hopefully you found it interesting, and like I said, we'll do a staking video of this, or certainly get the principles in place ready for when the staking mechanism occurs. I'm not sure how far away it is. It's not far at all, but we will be ready. We'll be ready together. Let's go. We'll see you in the next Iota update video. Bye bye.